What's going on there, YouTube? And welcome back to another comic book video. This is the channel where we sit down and cover different comic book stories from different comic book companies. Today we're going to jump back over to Marvel Comics and we are going to cover Doctor Doom's latest series. Yes, Marvel gave him a title about 3 years ago, and honestly, it's an amazing story. It's not like your new Doctor Doom origin or not your new Doctor Doom trying to be a good guy storyline. This is Doctor Doom just going through life, but going through a very hard moment where he's trying to figure out what is going on with his life. And you'll see what I mean as we go through this book, because honestly, it's him trying to achieve something that he did not know he need to achieve. With that being said, I do hope you enjoyed today's comic book video. And if you do, hit that like button down below and subscribe. But here we go. Now, in the opening pages of this book, we actually pick up with the moon. The reason why is because there is a new base known as the Atelian Center on the moon. Now, the reason why we pick up on this base is because they are going to create a black hole as a way to help the Earth deal with its pollution problem. Now, this is all being told to us on live television in the opening pages, and Doctor Doom is being interviewed. And the reason why is because he wants to give his thoughts about this project, because he thinks that this project is going to be a bad idea, especially because it was made by Reed Richards and Tony Stark. And because Reed is sloppy and Tony Stark is reckless, this project is going to fall apart. But Doctor Doom is unable to express that because every single person, especially one who is interviewing him, will not let him talk. And matter of fact, they cut him off, which makes him very angry. And he's like, I'm done. They're going to have a huge problem on their hands very soon. But then you have some of Doctor Doom's assistants come to him to tell him what is going on in his country. Because you have to remember, when it comes to Doctor Doom, he is the ruler over Latveria, this country in Europe. And so right now you have one of his assistants tell him that they are dealing with an issue at the borderline of their country with another country known as Sumcaria. I hope I pronounced that correctly, but Sumcaria has been around for a long time in Marvel Comics, and they play a very important role in this storyline. But he's not really worried about those forces trying to invade his country. His mind is more on the black hole, because he's hoping that this black hole will not be the downfall or the end of the Earth, because again, he still feels like this black hole is a bad idea. Now, this is the moment where I have to explain who Kang the Conqueror is, because while you have Doctor Doom in his private room trying to sit down and write, he is confronted by Kang the Conqueror. Now, Kang the Conqueror is a very annoying time traveler character, and the reason why is because he is from the future. But because he time travels so much across time and different timelines, there are different versions of him across all time. So my big prime example is this right here. Remember our Young Avengers coverage where we had Iron Lad. Iron Lad is a teenage version of Kang the Conqueror. And so even though you have Iron Lad out there, you also have different versions of Kang the Conqueror out there as well. And so there are multiple characters that is really just Kang the Conqueror, but different versions of him. But the reason why he is here is because there is some kind of connection between him and Victor Von Doom. Now, the reason why I say that is because even though Kang the Conqueror last name is Richards, his full name is Nathaniel Richards, had a hard time saying that, meaning that he could be a great grandson of Reed Richards, but sometimes Marvel loves to hint that he could be the great grandson to Victor Von Doom as well. No one truly knows which family he belongs to. And so this is Marvel once again saying, hey, there is some kind of connection between him and Doctor Doom. but we have no idea what that connection is. And so every time Kang the Conqueror time travels to this time, he first appeared right next to Victor Von Doom. But once they have their conversation, he is gone once again. But he does mention that, yes, in his time, Earth did try to make a black hole as a way to fix their pollution problem. But he said in some timelines it worked. In other timelines, it did not work. But then you have the book jump into the main plot line of this whole book, which is that when Victor Von Doom goes into the bathroom to splash some water on his face, he is then confronted by visions of him and some lady and 2 kids, kind of hinting that maybe he wants this, or maybe this could be his future, where he is finally happy. He has a wife and 2 kids, but also these 2 kids and this wife of his that he is seeing in this vision tells him that he was able to give the world peace completely. The whole world has peace, and that is huge. But then he has another vision where he sees this black hole sucking everything up, and it could hint that, listen, the black hole they just made on the moon could be the end of everything on Earth. Then we get into my favorite moment of the whole book, because we actually pick up with Victor Von Doom once again with his assistant, and she is telling him what's going on in his country, but also the fact that because it has been weeks since the black hole has first opened up, that a lot of people are saying the black hole was a good idea. The Earth is actually getting better. And you have Victor Von Doom say, I don't care. Honestly, I know what I know. And that black hole is a bad idea. And then we find out that he actually kidnapped and he's holding hostage one of the reporters who had interviewed him in the beginning of our video, but they would not let him speak, and so that made him very angry. And so he kidnapped the person and he is holding him hostage at the moment. But then we pick up with Victor Von Doom once again trying to have a peaceful moment in his day where he's just trying to relax, except that is the moment where he's confronted by another vision. And this vision is showing him that him and his son are on a boat together and they're having the best time of their lives. They're bonding. But once again, Victor Von Doom does not know, is this supposed to be his future down the road, or could be a future in a different timeline? He has no idea. But things are about to begin to pop off, because we actually jump back over to the Atelian Center. And this is why I say that this new concept that Marvel gave us is going to go away very quickly, is because you have everyone who is working on this base acting like everything is going to be okay. Then bam, everything blows up left and right. Missiles are firing at this center, except all of the missiles are coming from one single location, Latveria, Dr. Doom's country. And he's like, I did not do this. Who in the world just sent all those missiles up in the sky to blow up that project? Because now it looks bad on Dr. Doom. But then this is where things get worse, because we pick up with Dr. Doom in his war room. And while he is in his war room, he's confronted by a group of people who are all telling him, yes, those missiles did come from us, Latveria. But to make matters worse, there are people actually on the moon right now wearing Dr. Doom's armor and having their symbol that represent Latveria, telling the world, yes, it was Latveria that did this terrorist attack. And of course, that means you now have other countries across the world wanting Dr. Doom to turn himself in. And of course, one of his personal guards, Zora, who is going to be very important in this storyline right here, because she was only created about 4 years ago. But Zora is close to Dr. Doom, and he tells her, listen, I am going to give myself up, but I want you to take my place as the leader of my country, and then I want you to figure out who is trying to frame me for this. Like, he's putting so much pressure on her, but in reality, he has no choice because he wants to protect his country, Latveria, because Doctor Doom will do anything to protect his country. But when he gets outside, that is when he is attacked by two characters who I'm not going to sit down and trying to explain who they are. And those two characters are Agent Zero and Union Jack. But these two characters work for different countries across the world, and of course they are here to arrest Doctor Doom. Now remember, Doctor Doom said he was going to give himself up because he knows how bad things look now. But he's trying to tell the world, it wasn't me. I will go with you, but I want to tell you that it was not me or my country that attacked that center on the moon. But of course, these two guys are not listening to him. They keep on attacking him, but that is when he takes both of them out and he says, listen, I'm going with you. Like, just take me in. I'm trying to tell you something, that I did not do this. But while he is being surrounded by all the military forces that want to bring him in for what they believe he did, he has another vision. Except this time it is him and this supposed wife he's supposed to have in the near future, or could be a different timeline. Either way, all he knows is this vision is telling him he is going to save the world. But for him to reach that goal, he has to go through this moment right now. But then we jump a few hours where we actually pick up with Doctor Doom being escorted into an actual jet so that jet can take him to a prison to hold him. Now, there are a bunch of characters in these opening pages of the second issue, but the only characters that are actually important is Silver Sable, Herbie, which is a robot that belongs to the Fantastic Four, and Doctor Strange. Besides that, the rest of these characters are actually not important. Now, real quick, you do have Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom talk to one another because it is Doctor Doom trying to tell Strange, listen, I didn't do this. I want you to believe that I did not do this. You know me very well, Strange. You and I go back and forth as allies, as enemies, whatever. You know this could have not been me. But of course, it's Doctor Strange wondering, can he actually believe what Doctor Doom is saying right now at this moment? Now, this is the moment where we jump back over to Latveria, where we pick up with Zora. Remember, Doctor Doom left her in charge of the country while he's being arrested at the moment. Except she has been confronted by different countries around the world telling her that they have closed down every single trade route as a way to kind of hurt the country, but to also inspect what they are trading. And so right now it's her trying to do her best to keep her country afloat, but we all know she is hoping that Doctor Doom can come back and take charge of his country once again. But then we jump back over to Doctor Doom, and the reason why, because while he's being transported by the jet to this hopefully new prison that can actually hold him, well, that is when he is confronted by Kang the Conqueror one more time. Now, Kang the Conqueror actually tells Doctor Doom that he saw the future for Doctor Doom, and in that future, he actually was able to give the world peace. And so this is Doctor Doom wondering, wait, are the visions that I have been seeing are actually true? That I actually lead the world into world peace? I become some amazing person in the world? And so with that, that kind of motivates Doctor Doom to get out of this jet as a way to figure out what is going on with his visions, who is trying to frame him, and then also get his country back. And so he has Kang the Conqueror actually help him break out of the jet, and they do get out of the jet. Except you have Kang the Conqueror once again disappear at the worst moment, and that happens a lot with Kang the Conqueror in this book. But you then have Doctor Doom being able to use some magic as a way to save his life as he crash lands in the ocean, and now works on his way to complete all his different goals. But once Doctor Doom is in New York, that is when he's being called through magic by a character known as Morgan Le Fay. Now, Morgan Le Fay is a very difficult character to explain. There is so much history with this character, but all you know is that she can use magic and Doctor Doom and her used to be lovers. But it's her calling out to him because she wants to help him because she knows what is going on. Now, this is where we jump over to Blue Marvel. And Blue Marvel is another character that is really hard to explain because there is so much history with the character, and I really want to sit down and cover his original run because his series was amazing. But either way, Blue Marvel is a very powerful character, and also Herbie comes to him. Remember, Herbie is the Fantastic Four robot, and right now you have Herbie coming here asking for Blue Marvel to actually help capture Doctor Doom because, one, Blue Marvel is super smart, one of the smartest in Marvel Comics, but also because he is very powerful and could go toe to toe with Doctor Doom himself. But then we jump back over to Doctor Doom and Morgan Le Fay, as right now they're chilling in her apartment. Now, this is Morgan Le Fay just giving Doctor Doom a place to shower, eat, and relax after having a crazy day. But you do have her bring the idea up of what is going on in his life. And you have Doctor Doom actually tell her about the visions he has been having. And also he tells us about the future wife he's supposed to have because he learned her name. Her name is Frusina. And so now he's wondering if he should go out there, find this Frusina person because in his visions, that lady is supposed to be his future wife. But you do have Doctor Doom ask Morgan Le Fay if she is able to look into the future as a way to gather some clues of what is going on in his life, who's out there trying to frame him, does he actually have a chance to have a peaceful life? But she tells him that thanks for her being in this time, she's unable to actually use her magic like she wants to. And so she says she knows someone, and so she makes him a brand new Doctor Doom mask as a way to scare the person they're going to see, and hopefully this person can give Doctor Doom some kind of information. And so you have Doctor Doom and Morgan Le Fay actually go meet up with this person that she supposedly knows that can help look into the future of Doctor Doom. And he tells us his name is the Witness. Weird name, but whatever. But he is able to look into the future of Doctor Doom to see what this future he's supposed to have. And the Witness says it is actually the saddest day ever on Earth, but it is so beautiful. But before he is able to explain that is when someone actually snipes Doctor Doom right in the head, and Morgan Le Fay has to hold the dead body of Doctor Doom. But then we jump forward a decade later, where we pick up with Victor Von Doom giving a speech about how he believes the world should make their first weather control machine, because he begins to talk about how weather has been a big problem across the world. Weather has caused a lot of problems for different countries, and so he believes there should be some kind of way to control the weather across the world. And it seems like this is the first step that he took as a way to lead the world into world peace. But remember, he just got sniped in the head. And so right now we see this future Victor Von Doom giving this speech, but then we have present day Victor Von Doom just staring at him with a bullet hole in his head. But then we jump over to present day Victor Von Doom arriving in hell. And this is huge because this is Victor Von Doom believing that he should not be in hell, that he should be anywhere else besides hell. But of course, he's like, okay, I'm in hell, but I have to get out of hell. Yes, like I just said, Victor Von Doom is going to try to get out of hell. But then Victor Von Doom is confronted by Mephisto. Now, this is huge, but I want to explain who is Mephisto? So when it comes to hell, you have different kinds of hell all over Marvel Comics. But when it comes to Earth's hell, well, you have Mephisto as one of the many rulers of hell. And so yes, when Mephisto first appeared, he was known as like Marvel's devil, but there are different rulers of hell across Earth's hell. And so right now Mephisto is the one confronting Doctor Doom because he always wanted Doctor Doom's soul, especially when it comes to him holding his mother's soul. But you have Doctor Doom begin to fight against Mephisto as a way to get out of hell. But then you have Mephisto bring up the one woman that had ever loved Doctor Doom, and that lady was Valeria. And Valeria is a very important character when it comes to Doctor Doom, and I will explain who she is here in a minute. But then we jump back over to Latveria, where we pick up with Zora still in charge of Latveria. But you have some people tell her, hey listen, we are about to be attacked by the Symkarians once again, except this time they're not working with NATO, nor the UN or EU. They're just working for themselves as a way to attack our country and take over our country. Now remember, this is the same country that was attacking Latveria earlier. But then you have Zora go into her room as a way to get some rest, to get away, but also do some exercises. But that is the moment where she does get attacked by a random ninja who is planning on killing her because he was assigned to kill her. Now, getting back over to Doctor Doom and Mephisto, to explain who is Valeria, Valeria was the first person Doctor Doom ever fell in love with. But of course, over time he changed because he was always trying to save his mom's soul from Mephisto. Now here's the big thing on why Mephisto is pulling this card out. Because she died back in like 2003 or 4. I forgot what book she died in. But when it came to Doctor Doom needing a new kind of armor, a new kind of enchanted armor, the spell he used required him to give up something he really cared for or loved. And of course, he gave her up. He gave her up as a way to get some new enchanted armor, as a way to be more powerful. And so with that, she died. But he always felt bad because he basically killed the one person who actually loved him no matter what over Marvel Comics. And so this is Mephisto just being dirty. But you do have the two of them continue to fight for a good set of pages really. But then out of nowhere, someone stops them from fighting. And this person is very important. And that person is Mistress Death. Now, when it comes to Mistress Death, she's more powerful than Mephisto because she is death. She controls all death across the universe, and she can actually wipe out Mephisto. But she says, listen, Doctor Doom, I'm going to give your life back to you because no, it's not your time. No, it's not because, you have big plans for the future. It's because you'll be the greatest servant of all time for me. That is why I am going to give you your life back. Bam, just like that, he's out of hell. But then when he wakes back up, he's confronted by, of course, Morgan Le Fay, because she was the one who saw him get sniped. But he's also confronted by Blue Marvel and Herbie, because they were hired or told to go capture Doctor Doom and bring him to Reed Richards. And of course, when Doctor Doom sees him, he's like, oh, nope, Blue Marvel, gotta go. And he just blasts Blue Marvel through a bunch of walls, Herbie as well. But after he does that, he is then confronted by Kang the Conqueror one more time. And you have Kang the Conqueror tell him like, listen man, first off, you look like a hot mess at the moment. But then he says, listen, because I'm able to time travel across all time, I kind of have an idea who killed you. It was Taskmaster. Taskmaster was signed or hired by AIM to kill you. And so you have Doctor Doom say, cool, now it's time for me to find Taskmaster and kill him. But then we jump over to Doctor Doom number 4, and we pick up with a character named Dmitry Fortunov. I really hope I pronounced that last name correctly. Now, this character has been around in Marvel Comics. Well, not really around. He only appeared in 2 books before this one, and that was X-Force number 63, and I want to say X-Force number 64 as well. But the reason why we pick up with this homeless man named Dmitry, I just butchered that name, sorry. Well, he is the great-grandson or grandson of the person who used to run Latveria before Doctor Doom took over. And so you have some random character come to Dmitry and tell him, listen, technically you are the rightful heir of Latveria, meaning that with Doctor Doom gone, you can now be in charge of Latveria. But then we jump over to Doctor Doom, because remember, Doctor Doom just found out who sniped him, and it was Taskmaster. But at the same time, he found out that who hired Taskmaster to actually snipe him, and it was an organization known as AIM. Except before going to AIM, he went after Taskmaster to hopefully gather some kind of information on why in the world AIM was trying to kill Doctor Doom. And so we see Doctor Doom actually go to the base of Taskmaster. But this is where I try to explain who Taskmaster is, because even though he was in the Black Widow movie, it is still a character not a lot of fans actually know of unless you are an avid comic book reader. But then we jump back over to Zora, because right now, remember, she is the temporarily leader of Latveria because Doctor Doom is gone. But she is confronted by the leader of the Suncaria country. Now remember, Suncaria and Latveria have been going at war this whole time. But now you have Suncaria leader coming here to Zora to tell her, listen, we found the leader or the actual ruler of this country, and that is Dmitry. Now, as soon as she finds out Dmitry is alive and that he is planning to take over Latveria because technically he is the rightful ruler of this country, she wants to attack and kill him because she knows, or she wants, Doctor Doom to be in charge. But then she is stopped by Silver Sable. Now remember, Silver Sable is one of those characters that kind of is a Spider-Man character more, but either way, she is a mercenary, but she's also from Suncaria. And so she tells Zora, listen, I don't want any bloodshed at all between your country nor mine, but you and I need to leave this situation right now, work together, and we need to find Doom. Please listen to what I am telling you right now. But then we jump back over to Doctor Doom. Now, this is when you have Doctor Doom fighting against Taskmaster. Now, when it comes to Taskmaster, his real name is Tony Masters, or Anthony Masters for full name. But Anthony Masters is an old character who first appeared back in Avengers number 195 back in 1980, a long time ago, guys. But either way, Taskmaster has the ability to copy other heroes' fighting skills, or other characters' fighting skills, not just heroes, villains as well. But either way, he is a very capable fighter when it comes to Marvel Comics. And we actually see him right now fighting against Doctor Doom. But because Doctor Doom is magic and science and not really a bad fighter himself, he is actually able to overpower Taskmaster. But then you have Doctor Doom asking questions like, what is the code name for your assignment? Because every single time AIM gives someone an assignment, they give that assignment a code name. Now at first, Taskmaster does not want to tell Doctor Doom, but then he tells Doctor Doom the actual assignment name, and the name is Frusina. Now that name should sound very familiar to you because that is the name of of who is supposed to be the future wife of Doctor Doom. Because remember, he has been having visions this whole time, and with them having visions, those visions telling him, you're going to marry a woman named Frusina. And so when Doctor Doom hears that name, he's like, how does AIM know that I'm looking for her? How does AIM know that that could be my future wife down the road? But once Doctor Doom is able to deal with Taskmaster, he does move on to MODOK. Now MODOK is really the leader of AIM, and honestly I'm not going to sit down here and try to explain who MODOK is because honestly it's kind of a mess. But MODOK tells Doctor Doom that he knows about the supposed future wife for Doctor Doom, but also giving hints that he knows that there is a future where Doctor Doom could lead the world into world peace. And so even though you have the two characters fight against each other, it's really more Doctor Doom realizing other people actually know about the visions he has been seeing. But did we kind of get an idea of who is behind all of this? Because we jump over to Dimitri as he is meeting up with some lady who is hiding in the shadows to kind of hide out who she is. But we learn that she's the one behind all of this because we come to find out that Samaria, the country that Latveria is fighting against, is a dying country. Their trade lines have all been blocked. They have a hunger problem right now. And so right now, their country is dying, their people are starving, and they're trying to figure out how to save their country. And to move Dimitri in Latveria is just the first step to save their country. But this person is our true mastermind. But then we jump back over to Blue Marvel. Now remember, Blue Marvel was tasked to find Doctor Doom. And so when he gets to the last location Doctor Doom was at, well, of course, Doctor Doom is already gone because he already defeated Taskmaster and MODOK. But you have Blue Marvel call up Reed Richards to tell him, hey man, Doctor Doom is still out there. But you have Reed tell Blue Marvel, okay, listen, that is a problem, but I need you up here right now because I feel like things are about to get really bad. We come to find out the black hole machine they made as a way to deal with Earth's pollution, well, that black hole is now out of control on the moon. But then we jump over to Doctor Doom number 5, where we are introduced to a random female character working on a weather machine. Remember, in Doctor Doom number 3, earlier in this video, we saw a future Victor Von Doom talking about making a weather machine as a way to control the weather. And so right now we have this mysterious lady putting a machine underneath the Statue of Liberty that can begin the process of actually controlling the weather. But here's the thing, she tells her two henchmen that she is from Latveria. Now this is a different mysterious character that we saw earlier. And so now the question is, who is this mysterious lady who is working on this weather machine? But then we pick up with Doctor Doom again, and this is the moment where you have Doctor Doom find out that Dimitri has taken over Latveria, that Zora has left Latveria, and now Dimitri is the new ruler of Latveria. And so Doctor Doom is very upset because he told Zora, you're in charge. Comes to find out, she's no longer in charge, and he is wondering why she is not there. Speaking of Zora, we actually see her working with Silver Sable as they are trying to find Doctor Doom. And so right now we can tell they're also in New York City because again, they're looking for Doctor Doom. And so hopefully they can find him and help him get Latveria back. But then we jump over to Doctor Doom, who is at a public library. And the reason why is because he is looking up information about Frasina, this lady who is supposed to be his future wife. Now, we come to find out the lady we saw just a moment ago who built that weather machine and putting it underneath the Statue of Liberty was actually Frasina herself. But here's the thing. Doctor Doom is confronted by Kang the Conqueror, and you have Kang the Conqueror wondering why in the world Doctor Doom is looking up information about this lady, where you have Doctor Doom tell her, listen, not her, sorry, tell him, Kang the Conqueror is a he, and you have Doctor Doom tell Kang the Conqueror, listen, I am trying to find this lady because she's supposed to be my future wife. Now, Kang the Conqueror is like, wait, you're looking for someone to love? Love is weak. Love makes people weak and everything. Why are you doing this? You must be in some kind of trance or you must be depressed. But either way, I should kill you where you stand. And you do have a brief battle between Kang the Conqueror and Doctor Doom. But once again, Kang the Conqueror is gone. He disappears one more time, and that leads Dr. Doom to wonder what is his next step. Now, this is the moment where I can say other people are beginning to learn about Fracina, because we pick up with Blue Marvel and Herbie because they were able to gather some information from Taskmaster about Fracina. At the same time, we pick up with Silver Sable and Zora, and they also gather some information about Fracina as well. And so Dr. Doom is not the only person knowing about this lady. Other characters all know about her, and they all know where to find her. Now, this is the moment where you have Dr. Doom being able to find Fracina. Now, once he finds her, she thinks, oh my god, it's Dr. Doom. I must bow down to him because he is my ruler. And you have Dr. Doom say, stop. I'm not here for that. I'm here to actually tell you that I've been having visions. In those visions, you and I actually get married. Now, for her, she's like, no, I would never marry you. And Dr. Doom is like, why not? Is it that bad to marry me? Am I a bad person to you? She said, yes. Like, I respect you because you're my ruler, but at the same time, I feel like you are a horrible ruler because you locked up my father. And this is when we learn who her father is. Her father is Gregor Markovich. And the reason why he got locked up is because her father wrote a piece about Dr. Doom and saying how Dr. Doom was wrong for invading Wakanda. And so Dr. Doom did not like that, and he locked her father up. And he's like, oh, well, yeah, he deserved to be locked up. He basically wrote bad things about me. Something I tried to do to make our country better. But then out of nowhere, you have all these different characters just pop up. Blue Marvel, Silver Sable, and Zora. Now these characters are all here for Dr. Doom, but for different reasons. For example, Blue Marvel is here because Reed asked Blue Marvel to get Dr. Doom so that Dr. Doom can help Reed save the moon, because that black hole is getting ready to destroy the moon. But at the same time, Zora and Silver Sable are here because they want Dr. Doom to go back to Latveria and once again be the ruler over there. And so you have these characters here for different reasons and fighting against each other. But then out of nowhere, you have a random ninja appear. This is the same ninja we saw earlier that Zora fought. Come to find out, this ninja is actually Amy Chen. Don't worry, she is not important because she dies literally in 2 pages. But out of nowhere, you then have Kang the Conqueror appear. And you have Kang tell Dr. Doom, listen man, one of my future selves told me to come to you and give you this. Of course, this thing I'm giving to you is supposed to save the world. It's just a brand new Dr. Doom armor. And of course, you have Victor Von Doom put on this new Dr. Doom armor. And you have Dr. Doom kill Amy Chan. I told you she'll die real quickly. And then he says, listen, all of you stop. Blue Marvel, I know why you're here for. You need my help to stop that black hole from getting rid of the moon. I don't care. Let the moon go away. I want Reed to feel guilty for what he made. I want to realize that I am better than him once again. But at the same time, Zora, Silver Sable, I know why you're here. I'm mad at you, Zora, for you giving up my country to Dimitri. I am going back to my home country and getting my country back. No one is going to stop me. And this is where we stop for Volume 1 of Dr. Doom. And I'm going to cover Volume 2 very soon. But with that being said, I do hope you enjoyed today's comic book video. And if you do, hit that like button down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But I do hope you enjoyed today's comic book video.